Hey, good morning or good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. So, I asked you to come here to talk to my friends and people that are interested in opening up a CD banking account here, what that entails in Ecuador. Because a lot of Americans right now seem to be interested in diversifying their portfolios. And considering the turmoil that we have in the United States, economically speaking, they're more open now to looking and exploring other things. Plus, a lot of my friends are getting to the older age, and they're just thinking about things, the future, and how they want to diversify their own financial stuff. So, would you introduce yourself and as who you are, what you do?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my name is Javier Bermudez. I have 27 years old. I have been in the banking industry for more than 5 years. My experience is at this moment just only in two financial institutions. The first one was in JEP, a credit union, probably big part of the expat community in Manta, in Ecuador. They know what financial institution, what it is. My first year at that financial institution, my experience was a teller, just only a normal banking teller. And after the first year, I think my bosses, they saw probably the big potential that was in me. And they gave me a 3600 term degree, and they promoted me to the position for financial advisor. And well, everything went great.
Yeah. Well, that's good. So during the time you established yourself as someone who's helping out expats, is what you mentioned. Probably in a lot of regards because your ability to speak English.
That's correct.
Right? And your attention to detail and consideration for your clients.
That's correct.
And to be responsive to the people that ask you questions. Could you explain how many expats you probably have worked with over the past few years?
Well, in the past few years, Brad, probably I think I've been working around, I think, more than 400 persons.
Mm-hmm.
More than 400, I think. Yes. And I feel 100% compromised with the expat community here in Ecuador because, I see in this way. This community gave me so much to me in every different aspect, economical, in culture, language, in a lot of things. So I want to give you the same. Most of my customers, big part of the time, they say, Javier, thank you for your patience. Thank you for being so kind. And for me, it's not, not something extra hard that I have to do or something. No, it's something that comes natural. I think that I have that, how can I say, that thing on me, that feel to help people, to helping go through the process, try to make the things completely easy for them. Because I know how hard it can be, move to another country, especially when there is a country that you don't speak the language that they have, So I know how it's going through that situation. So that's why I am 100% compromised with the expat community here in Ecuador, and I help them with their banking issues. Can be opening an account, open certificate deposits, investing money here. So
great.
I'm 100% compromised.
Just out of curiosity, because this wasn't something that I originally thought of, but what do you think the largest amount is that you ever got from any one expat as a deposit?
How much is the most biggest one?
Yeah, what do you think the most biggest one was that you ever got?
Wow, I think talking about just only one large CD, not how can I say a complete portfolio, but just only in the one certificate deposit. The maximum that I can see before was 1.2 million.
1.2.
1.2.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. That's correct. No, but that's people who we know that there's a lot of things comes up at the moment when you want to invest money, and even more when it's financial institution. You want to see insurance, how big is the financial institution, how stable they are. You need to have all the things on list to make a final decision to invest money. But there's people sometimes that they like to take the risks. There's people who say, more risks,
more reward.
That's correct.
Right.
So, but that depends on the person for sure. But like I say, the most large CD that I saw all these 5 years is 1.2 million.
That's
just only one shot.
I get it. And the usual one, do you think is, what would you say is?
Approximately?
Yeah, approximately how much does somebody usually put in with you?
Normally 50.
50?
50, 75, between 50 and 100
Yeah.
is normally
Okay.
that's correct, usually.
Yeah.
There's people who only they want to be, under the
Under-
insurance, and they only say, no, I will not invest more than $32,000. So there's people who only stay there, but it's not so many people. Most of them between 50 and 100,000.
Okay. So as of today, which I believe is the 11th?
11th,
11th of
February
February.
11th.
What is your bank, and would you name your bank?
For sure.
And what is the best CD rate you've got as of today?
Okay, well, in this moment, Brad, I'm working a new financial institution. I was working 5 years for another financial institution here in Manta. Right now, I'm working for a non-accredited union. I'm working for a bank. The name for this bank is AMI Bank. We can share information with you guys when you want it. The interest rate that we have in this financial institution is between 7.5% up to 10%. Obviously, to be able to get these rates, there's a combination between amount
And time.
and time. That's
So
correct.
just for fun, because most people really like to hear that 10% number, but let's just say it's whatever, 9.9, 10%.
Okay.
How much money would they need to put in,
Okay.
and for how long?
For example, let me give you an example. To get 9.5%, that is a primary good rate. To get 9.5, we need minimum to invest with us in. It can be 40,000. 40,000, we can do it. Just 13 months, 14 months, we can give you 9.5%, and you can decide to receive the interest payment. Monthly, or just one payment at the end.
Right.
Will depends about what do you want to do with your interest, because there's people who likes to live with their interest. There's people who only see it like as investment, saving, and say no, one payment at the end, because their plans probably at the end is renew again
Right.
the principal amount with all the interest ending through the year, or just only take the interest and renew the initial amount.
So speaking of that, what you mean is you have another bank or bank account, and the interest coming out of that CD, separate, the interest that was earned, is going into a savings account.
That's correct.
Is that correct? And it's been my experience with you that it was through JEP, because JEP's bank has a banking system that is a little bit bigger than your banking
That's
system.
correct.
And they have an affiliation with ATM cards that are affiliated with the United States banks. So that if you want to, if I'm correct, the money from your bank, for instance, the interest money would go over to, let's say, we'll just say for the sake of a moment, the JEP bank, to the savings account gets just transferred there for
That's
a
correct.
very
It's
small
transferred.
amount of money for that exchange.
Because that's one of the things that my bank wants to how can I say, to make easy for the customers at the moment they want to invest money with us. Because there's people who say like, no, for me it's difficult to come here to the branch, because in AMI Bank we don't have a big ATM network comparing with another financial institutions. So that's why we offer to the customer the possibility for the interest payment that they get for their CDs, we can pay in through other financial institutions. Talking about in banking language is only we transfer the interest payment to another account in another bank, can be credit union or bank here in Ecuador.
Okay. So I talked about that with Ingrid, and we kind of explained it there, but I'd like obviously to just repeat some of the stuff. What, and feel free to take a drink there, but if someone of our friends in the United States wish to open up a bank account here and put a CD in, but they're not going to live here, they just want to invest some money here to take advantage of that higher rate of return and then get the interest money, like I did. What paperwork do they need to present to you in order to be able to get that done?
Well, there's different ways, Brad, because we have two situations. That there's people who doesn't want to live here in Ecuador, but they want to take an advantage about the opportunities to invest money here in the financial sector in Ecuador. And there's the other situation from people who doesn't live here, but they don't want to come here in Ecuador. So, in the first situation, the documents that the person have to bring to us to the bank to be able to open an account is, in this case, passport. It's very important. We need an electric bill for the place that they're staying here.
For someone that's here.
That's correct.
Right.
Can be not in their names. Someone can provide. You can provide electric bill or any friend or whatever. So there's not a big deal. And also we need two personal reference. can be friends here in Ecuador without any problem because we don't need letter signing by these persons. So it's something completely easy. And also just a copy for the passport when we can see the stamp when the person enters here to the country.
And what about for somebody that's out of the United States? What do they need to do?
Okay, in this case will be the same requirements that I told you at the beginning.
Passport.
And also a power of attorney, you know, given by a lawyer here in Ecuador or the United States. In this case, the power of attorney has to be apostille. Apostille, I think is the word. Apostille has to be apostille, and can be the name of your lawyer, in the name for a friend that you trust here in Ecuador or whatever. But you can do it. Yes, you can invest here money in the banking sector in Ecuador, being here or without being here.
Gotcha. So the same requirements of the paperwork is there, but in the case of being outside of the United States,
You have to put a power of attorney.
you have to have somebody that's going to do a power of attorney and then help set up that account for you securely.
And we know that we have someone that can help.
Yeah, well, we
there.
talked about Ingrid, and
That's
so I
correct.
interviewed her. So you're absolutely correct. Okay, so let me think of what else we want to talk about. What would you say is the months of the CDs that need to be tried? If somebody's a little nervous at first, because some people in the United States they're scared to invest outside, and this economy in Ecuador is based on the U.S. dollar. It's one of the few countries around the world outside of the United States that uses the dollar. There's some, of course, and that Ecuador allows this kind of investment. So, what type of CDs do you have? What monthly CDs do you have? Now, I know we talked earlier about how much you could get for the highest rate, but if they wanted to just test the water and see what they could get from a short-term
CD.
Yeah.
Well, in this case, Brad, there's a few things that come on this question. Because one of the things that we have to have present is that, remember, at the moment that you bring money here in Ecuador, and when you want to take it out, can be the initial amount, just only the Easter, any amount that you want to take out of the country, remember that you have to pay the exit tax. So when someone just only want to test the financial market here in Ecuador,
It'll be expensive.
my recommendation will be just do it only under the insurance. That means $32,000 in amount. And obviously try to put it in a year to get a good return. But if a person is combined to invest money here in Ecuador, but first they want to do it in a short term, they can do it for sure. And for example, for a CD for 1 month, for $32,000, you can get easily 7.8%.
7.8.
That's correct, just only for a month.
Yeah.
So I think it's
That seems pretty good.
just only for a month.
Actually, I'm surprised. I wasn't expecting that.
Obviously, one of the bad things when you open these short-term CDs, when you open it on the term less than 6 months, you have to pay a tax here in Ecuador. But it's not something that you have to pay to the government. It's something that the financial institution takes automatically from your interest payment and sending to the government. You don't have to do anything. The bank or the financial institution will do that. But it's like you have to pay the 2% of the interest that you earn. As example, if you earn through 3 months, as an example, $400 on interest, for those $400, you have to pay 2% to the Ecuadorian government because you're doing a short-term CD for less than 6 months. But when it's for 6 months or more than 6 months, you don't have to pay any exit tax, okay? And for example, going a little bit back when was talking about the exit tax, there's a few things that you can do. And at the moment when you decide to move the money outside of the country, outside of Ecuador, you can do it without paying the exit tax. Because right now, that exit tax, I think, is for 5%. So it's very high.
It's very high.
It's very high. So you can do something to not paying that exit tax, but your money need to have a purpose at the moment when you bring it here to Ecuador. You bring it through international wire, came here to Ecuador, you investing in the financial market, banking sector, credit union, whatever, and when you want to take it out. So when you want to take it out, you are going to be able to take the initial amount and the interest that you earn during the whole time. But always, when the money came from international wire here to the country, you put it on the financial market and then you want to take it back. You'll be able to do it without paying the exit tax. And that's something incredible that I I figured it out like 1 year ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and it's something completely awesome because before I thought something's impossible. And there's people who probably lose money paying that exit tax, but with this thing that they have in the law right now, it's very incredible. Obviously, you need to follow some steps, bring some information, works with the tax offices here for the government here in Ecuador, but for sure, you're going to be able to take the money out without the exit tax. So that means someone who wants to bring money here to the country, invest for 1 or 2 years, and then they want to return the money with the interest, can do it easily without any problem.
Okay, wow, that's really interesting. Actually, I knew you could take the money out and not have to pay the exit tax, but I thought there was a specific way you needed to do that Ingrid was mentioning, but I didn't quite get really into detail about that. But just having, as you're validating that.
That's correct, and I can assure you that 100% because I helped last year 3 or 4 persons be in that position, that they want to move the money outside, and there's people that money is everything.
That's substantial because if you're getting a 9.9% percentage, let's say, or even 7.8, and you're able to pull out the whole thing and not have to pay much of any tax.
That's correct.
That's a pretty darn good investment.
That's correct.
Yeah. Well, God bless Ecuador, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything you can think of that we haven't really covered that you'd like to maybe devote any extra time to, in terms of what you would like some people in the United States to consider on investing into Ecuador? Because there's lots of different investments. Of course, there's the CDs, which is this, in a sense, the safest. Mm-hmm. And then there's, of course, real estate investing, but that's a different subject altogether. But is there anything that you would like to say about how you would like to encourage or maybe work with people and have conversations with them directly yourself, if they have questions? Or is there anything that you'd like to add to speak to the people that are going to watch this video and then consider maybe investing here in Ecuador, and then maybe specifically with your bank and how safe your bank is and how good you are? Mm-hmm. Anything along that nature? I know you spoke about it in the beginning a little bit.
Well, I know that probably I'm a very young person. I have 27 years old, but I have more than 5 years in experience working in the banking sector, and I know how the country works around the financial sector. So the only thing that I can add is I would like to invite, people from your country, of people from America that they want to come here to Ecuador and know, how can I say, our situation, see, how we call it in Spanish, verlo con las manos. It's like, it sounds weird, but I make the invitation, for you guys to come here and see what we have to offer in every kind of ways. It can be real estate, and banking investments. So yes, I make you the invitation because we have a lot of things good to offer here in the country, and yes, you can come in and see what we have.
Okay. Would you mind repeating your name for everybody one more time? And
yes, my name is Javier Bermudez. I don't know if you can put my information down below in the description of the video. I can give you my business email and my phone number. Mm-hmm. If you can contact me, guys, you can feel free to send me any questions. And obviously, I will answer without any problem.
No. Well, I really appreciate you spending time with me today. And like I said, we're going to do another little video, just like off the cuff stuff.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks very much, Javier.
You're welcome, Brad. Thank you.
Okay.